Hey guys, what is up? It's Keeps here and we're back with another video. This time, you should be glad to know it is a tactic recreation again. I know I've had a couple of requests for them, and it's not one of the ones I was looking at. I'm currently looking at PSG and I'm looking at Leipzig, but I can't get the Leipzig one to work, and it's been a struggle since the start of FM. I've seen a couple of creations on FM Trend Games and that, and I just feel they don't play out how Leipzig play. I think it's how they play in certain situations more than their overall style of play. But it is a hard one to recreate in FM just because how unique Nagelman's style is, and then Tuchel's is similar. It's quite a unique style in terms of how he uses his wingers, so it is kind of difficult to recreate. But for now, we have this one. It's Frankfurt, Niko Kovac, Frankfurt from a couple of years ago. And I'll give a bit of background to it. This is my personal save. I was at Celtic for 2 years. I won two trebles, a Europa League, and got in 10 in a row. Then I left for Frankfurt, and last season was not very successful in terms of the league. We finished 10th, one place up from the previous season, but we also did win the DFB Pokal, so we have got Europa League this year. We did win the Super Cup at the start of the year, beating Dortmund 2-0, I believe, and we are first place in the Bundesliga at the winter break, and it's a slightly earlier winter break this season, mainly because of the World Cup being in place, and I think it's Kazakhstan. So we do have that really long break, as you can see, with the November time. But we have played a lot of football. I've seen a lot of good things with this tactic, and I just felt I had it exactly how I wanted it playing out. So I thought I'd share it with you guys today. Now, as you can see, this is not a basic Frankfurt team. I have changed a lot about it. However, from when I joined the team, I haven't changed loads. I think I added it up. I think it was something like on players, the squad is added. I think it's 80 million from the basic Frankfurt squad that we had in general. So that's not bad at all over a 4 year period from what we had to what we have now. A lot of players have picked up on frees, or they've been transfer listed for cheap. So that's why it's kind of some of the picks in the team are a bit outside the box, but they work really well, and I'm really pleased with how the system works. With any variation of players as well, I wouldn't call it a plug and play again, but I've used it with almost two starting 11s, and I've not seen a difference. The players have been really good. And the advantage I have with this one is with my other ones, I use the editor to keep players fit, so I can get results of them at their best all the time. With this, it's just normal save, match sharpness, fitness, everything like that, having to rotate. So there's certainly been a lot of good play. But we'll take you into tactic just now. So there's two tactics. So there is a 3-4-1-2 and a 3-1-4-2. Both are the exact same, actual tactical style, but they've just got a different formation and different player roles due to the ball winner and the attacking playmaker. So we'll go through the 3-1-4-2 as this is what the main one was. So as you can see, three at the back, no wing backs, wide midfielders. I've been sceptical about it at times, but since the 20.4 update, it's certainly been very, versatile. I had a Celtic one, if you've watched that video, where I used this very similar style, and that one kind of went obsolete when I think it was 20.3.9 or 20.4.1, I think it was, and it really ruined it in the vertical tiki taka. But going back to Gegenpress, it has been a very influential tactic this FM in terms of I know a lot of people say it's broken, but in terms of how well it combats other tactics. So I went with this for mainly how Niko Kovac played with Frankfurt, and it's worked out really well. So how the tactic plays. So we have that midfield triangle. We'll speak about that in a second, but we'll talk about the two wingers first. They really need to track back and forth, hence why I've got an abundance of wingers in the team, because I really needed, a lot of tracking back and a lot of attacking, kind of creativity, and being able to, feed in those strikers and really make those two. It really changes it into, like a three, almost a 3-3-2-2 in play when we're attacking, but it works out really well. I've got Jaden Braff on the left, normally Kostic, and I normally have James Forrest on the right, who I brought from Celtic. But this season, because of James Forrest's injuries, it has been Eber Eze, who has been terrific. As you can see, 14 games, 11 goals, 12 assists. He's been absolutely outstanding. And I think it was 10 million we bought him for, so that's like unreal for bringing a player to the top league from that. So you can definitely see, how he's an impact in that right mid role, and he also is our advanced playmaker in the 3-4-1-2. Looking at that triangle in the middle, the ball winning midfielder is normally Wilmar Barrios, who is just excellent. I've used very little defenders that are, better than him in this position. He can play centre half, he can play centre mid, but that CDM position, I'm yet to find a player that is as good as him. This FM in that position, and I know that will sound pretty silly, but his aggression, everything like that, is just as so good, and he's just a player that I always look to sign. I have for a couple of years now. He's a really good player, but when you look at stats down here, really high passing accuracy, and in the Europa League, 3 games, 100% tackles completed, which is insane. Bundesliga, not as much, but 92% passing accuracy, 85% tackle and win ratio is unbelievable at this point in the season. So I'm really happy with that. The back three was a really tricky one. So the way the Frankfurt back three, work and how it works in FM is these two split off wide, and they really provide a big stretch back three, and it really allows Jaden Braff and whoever's on the right, or Kostic on the left, to really push forward, because Kunde actually is about here and Sergio is about here. But the main person in the middle, this covering one, is your main man to look to. Uh, the defence has completely changed from what's obviously started. Frankfurt don't have the best defence in real life, and their main thing was their fullbacks. You had Danny Da Costa, who was pretty good, and you had a couple of good defenders, but I felt like I had to upgrade it. And we're looking at it after last season using the 4-2-3-1. I wanted to recreate Kovac's way because it worked, and it's worked perfectly here. We're using those three. So Steven Posh, definitely the best signing I've made in this save. He has completely transformed the defence. Kunde and Sergio were the two main defenders last season, but Steven Posh has completely changed the defence around in terms of their ball playing, how they keep it, and how much how much he connects with Barrios when he plays there. Hence why the passing accuracy is so good. The two in the middle, Harper and Sau, they are the mainstays. There's no one else being able to overthrow them. I don't have loads of centre mids to be honest, but there's no one being able to throw them. Harper, again, absolutely excellent. DFB poke out, 100% tackling, 87%. High 80s in passing accuracy, and they've got him on take more risks. So very good. Europa League has been terrific. The league again, really good, really good player, and I think he's a kind of, because of certain things have been said about him in the press, and that I think he's missed out a lot this season, or this FM, mainly because he's maybe not developed just the way that they would want to, but he's been very good. On the right, Jibril Sow, he was one of the original Frankfurt players that I've still kept, and he's terrific. Yeah, he'll really work for you. He'll do a lot. Again, really high passing percentages, really high tackle wins. So you can't complain when you've got a midfield as solid as this one, and they've really been making the tactic work. Rebic and Jonathan David. He's been terrific. Jonathan David. He's only recently came into form in terms of his goal scoring, but he's been absolutely outstanding in terms of his overall performances, and his average ratings show that, considering he's not scored loads in the Bundesliga and he's still at 7.42. Just shows how good he's been. And then Ante Rebic, there's not much I need to say about him. I think a lot of us know about him by now, and he's a top quality player, and I'm glad to have him still there. Kevin Trapp in goal, sweeper keeper support, standard for this FM. You see the sweeper keeper support or defend, in my opinion, and it's just a way to go, really. Looking at the 3-4-1-2. The only difference really is that you might find that your two wide defenders get caught out a little bit. I think I've conceded more goals in this formation, mainly because we don't have Barrios there. But any CDM in that space that's got good fitness and he's got good aggression. He's going to stop a lot of goals. But Ebereze in this position has been unreal in connecting the play. He has scored most of his goals from out on the right, but his assists have all came from here pretty much. Just with a little through balls into David and Rebic, and whoever else is playing. We've got Nketiah there, he's scored 6 in 6 starts, which is really good. So we're really pleased with that. But it's been an insane tactic to develop and see grow kind of thing as it's went on. I'll show you all the results just now. So we'll go to the Bundesliga. As you can see, we're top with 10 wins, 1 draw, goal difference of 22, and we have scored the most in the league. That's last season. We have scored the most in the league with 30 and conceded the joint least with 8, I think. Oh no, Bayern Munich have conceded 7. But it's interesting to see, as much as we have been really good, and there's other teams being poor, we really have kind of taken it on our own to be there. We're not just there because other teams aren't performing. You know what I mean? You look at Dortmund, they've only had 2 wins. Bayern Munich, 5 wins, 4 losses. They just aren't performing well. And then, especially when you look at, they were both in the top 4, Dortmund winning last season. And then you look at the top 4 this season. It is very different. But yeah, it's very different. But we're really pleased with everything that's went on, and we'll just have a look at the player stats now. So we will go to this. So yeah, so you can look at the goals. It's really evenly spread. You've got Eze and David and Rebic, but then below that, it's really evenly spread across the pitch. For what they score. All 3 centre halves are there. Really pleased with everything that's gone on in this tactic. I can't complain about it one bit really, and it's really good to show you just how well it's been doing. So I will be uploading it to Mediafire. The link will be in the description for that download. This has been the schedule, so you can see that I haven't just played kind of nonsense teams so far. Europa League campaign's been really good. The league campaign's been really good. And away win to Bayern, 2-0 home win in the Super Cup, so we already have a trophy this season. 2 late goals, but we'll take it. And win over Schalke when we were both unbeaten was really big for us. And I think that's really it in terms of the games that have been really big in terms of getting us out there. Obviously 7-1 Karabag, Ebereze scoring 4 that game and assisting 2, I believe it was. He's been absolutely terrific. But as I say, guys, we're going to be back with a couple of tactics. Hopefully, maybe Tuchel by the end of this week, as well as another episode of the Blackburn Rovers save will be coming out on Friday. And I'm really hoping to kind of forge ahead in the tactic creations on the side. I've just got some college work and I'm still at work through the coronavirus, so just bear with me on the tactics. The Blackburn episodes will still be here, but with the tactics, just bear with me. They will come eventually. Especially, and I've got a few asked about Nagelsmann. I've been asked about Tuchel. I've been asked about a couple others from the English Premier League that I haven't really tried yet. So I will definitely be back soon with 3 or 4 tactics, and not including this one. So you can look forward to that. So anyway, guys, I've been Keebs. It's been great to have you. Hit subscribe, hit that alarm bell so that you know exactly when all my videos are coming out, when the Blackburn series is here, and when the tactics that you so desperately want are coming out. So this has been a good video, guys. I hope you go down in the description and download this tactic. Let me know how it gets on, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.